Shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to our elders and the apostles, a great millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Nathaniel from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. I'm going to start off with this quick precept, and we're going to go into this video where you have this Ishmaelite, this guy here. This guy, he's really giving Esau no rest, which I honestly believe this guy is a Jake. I said it before in a video about a year ago, and I'll say it again. I think this guy is a Jake. He has a zeal, but not according to knowledge. All right. So we're going to play this video, but he said some things in this video, because I'm going to play the whole video. He has said some things in this video that proves that these people that are in power right now have certainly not received their judgment. Okay, not only have they not received their judgment, but not only have they not received their judgment, they're running from their judgment, and their whole history is being brought out. And this is something that the Heavenly Father does before he's about to put down a nation, is he reveals that nation. He shows the world what that nation truly is. And that's Esau Edom. And for so long, the world has been deceived by this devil. But the Lord had removed it, and this devil has been running from his prosecution, so to speak, his judgment for centuries. And now it's all coming to a head, because he can no longer hide under that veil of whiteness and that veil of peace. Okay, so this is Genesis 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, "And the Lord and Cain said unto the Lord," this is I'm gonna start at verse 11. Verse 11, it says, "And now," this is after Cain had killed Abel. This is Genesis 4 and 11. It says, and now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand." Okay, and this is the mark of judgment. All right. And it says, "When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be on the earth." Now let's look up those words real quick. Fugitive and vagabond.
Strong's H 5128. New air.
Okay, and it says, to quiver, trotter, shake, reel, stagger, wonder, move, shift, make move, wave, tremble. Okay, and this is the reason why Esau Edom moves all across the world like he does. He wanders from one place to another. He cannot stay in one spot, because that's a curse, a vagabond. Okay, so he's a mover. Okay. And then a fugitive. Salakia. So he's a fugitive. A fugitive is one to move around. He's on the run from the law. Salakia. All right. So he's a fugitive. He's on the run from the law. He's always moving around. And this is why you can find him in all the other nations, because he goes into those nations and he hides himself. All right. So this is a vagabond. They got the same meaning. A vagabond. Shake, waver, wonder, move, flutter, show grief, have compassion on. To move to and fro, wander aimlessly, take flight. Okay, so this dude is on the run. Okay, this guy is constantly trying to find new places where he can hide himself, because he's running from his judgment and his judgment to come, as this guy here is about to eloquently say. Now, before I bring out this video, let me bring out one more precept, and I'm going to go to the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and we bring this out all of the time, okay? And then we're gonna go back to the top of Habakkuk. Before right now, I'm gonna read Habakkuk 2:16. It says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." And what you're about to hear is not only a brief summary of Esau Edom's history. You're going to hear a brief summary of how he's running as well, and how the nations are waking up to the evil that this man has done. All right. So without further ado,
your wrongs, your problems, your wrongs are not mistakes. No one forced you to commit those crimes. You know, no one put a gun to your head and forced you to treat other human beings like livestock. The racial problem in America wasn't an accident. It wasn't a misstep. It was a deliberate, created injustice. You created this problem, and you worked hard to create this problem. You did.
all right, you see that? You see, because he worked hard. He created things like the Willie Lynch letter. All right. He did things like buck breaking, things like gator babies, derby's dosed. I mean, there's so many things that this devil did, okay, to break the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans into submission and to subdue the world, okay? So he created all of these issues. He created all these problems. He's the one that turned the war into the world into a wilderness and created a circumstance of perpetual war. There was wars before, but before Esau Edom came into power, there were literal times of peace, long span times of peace, okay? But then this devil has been in the power, and for over 300 some years, 400 years, there hasn't been any peace. In America alone, you know, only 7 years out of the, I think it's a 48 year history of America. Roughly, you know, I don't know. I know it's over 200, like 240 years. Only 7 years of when we haven't been at war with something. So that shows you that Esau Edom is a warlike creature. And that goes back to Genesis, the Genesis, the 27th chapter, where it talks about a great sword was given unto Esau Edom. I'm sorry, no, that's Revelation, the 6th chapter, but Genesis, the 7th chapter, 27th chapter, I believe, talks about by the sword thou shalt live. Let's just go there. Just to make sure I'm getting the right one.
The cat looks like a cat.
All right, it's Genesis 27. And we're just going to scroll down. Here it is. This is Genesis 27 and 39. It says, "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword thou shalt live, and serve thine enemy." And by the sword thou shalt slack. I don't know. I'm tripping. "And by the sword thou shalt live, and serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou have the dominion, you shall break his yoke off thy neck." And that's what happened during the Renaissance. He broke the yoke off. Basically that's symbolic of the yoke is symbolic of servitude. So he broke that off, and he put Jake in captivity. But from you can see, you know, when Alexander the Greek, as it talks about in the book of Maccabees, when Alexander the Greek took over, right, evils multiplied in the earth. That was the inception of Esau Edom. Okay, that was the inception of Esau Edom. You know, and since then there has been a warlike spirit on the earth. But who was given the sword? Esau Edom was given the sword, and he was also given the mark of Cain. Okay, so this is why he's a warlike man, and he has he's a vagabond and a fugitive. He's running from exemption, running from judgment, and at the same time conquering and destroying those nations that he wanders into. Okay, So let's continue on my man's video.
Just hate African people, you concocted a whole quasi-scientific rationale to justify it. You willfully interpreted your...
And this is going into Darwinism, okay? So you have the Caucasoid, the Negroid, and the Mongoloid, okay? So he created all of these different classifications of people, and he put Jake down at the bottom, going into Darwinism, all right? And this is what they did to justify the evils that they were doing upon the earth. Or you're subpar. Hey, bro, even something that's subhuman deserves to be treated kindly, because the scriptures talk about how a wise man, a righteous man dealeth kindly with his beast, roughly paraphrasing, right? So even if Jake was your property, and you come up with all of this quasi shit, to say, okay, he's a lesser form of life. Well, the animals are lesser forms of life than man, right? And yet, the Lord said a man deals kindly with his beast, a righteous man. So you got slaves, and you're classifying them as beasts, which we all are beasts. It's just the ones that are upright are the ones that got the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. But a man is benevolent to his beast. You ain't benevolent. You created a whole science around mistreating a certain demographic of people, all right, for the purpose of mistreating a certain demographic of people. But if you was a righteous, wholesome man, right, you would deal peacefully. You would deal kindly with those that are not as intelligent and not as well-to-do as you. But no, you're not. You're an evil, wicked-ass man.
Religious text to try to justify it. You built a complex propaganda, indoctrination, brainwashing, miseducation system to try to implement.
I mean, we can't even say it any better. This dude, he actually hits the nail on the head. But I'm gonna continue to let this play, Lord willing, without any more interruptions.
Planted into the minds of your people to reinforce the evil. Do you understand? You did this with commitment. You worked diligently, relentlessly, and invested massive energy, time, money, intellect, and effort to enforce, to maintain, and to preserve the injustice you created. No one made you do that. You chose to do that. And you maintain and defend that system until today. You have never addressed what it is about you that made you choose to do these things, that made you create these injustices, that made you systematize these injustices and protect them for decades upon decades. So America, you have never addressed what is internally wrong with your culture, with your so-called civilization that has made you do the things that you have done. But you think that if you can just keep kicking the can of consequences down the road, then you never have to change. This is what you think. You think that you're succeeding. You think that your way is working. It's an evil nation that tells their own people that they're above the law, that tells them that they're unaccountable, that tells them that they will never face the consequences of their actions. Every single thing that you have done, every grotesque injustice that you have committed as a nation is going to fall upon your heads. Your problems, your wrongs are not mistakes.
All right, so you heard that, right? It's going to fall upon your head. And that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Everything is falling upon his head. This is why his kingdom is collapsing. This is why everything is falling apart. Because everything is falling upon Esau, Edom's head. All of the lies, all of the deceit, all of the crafty counsel, all of that is falling upon his head. Okay? I'm going to get a precept on that. This is the book of Proverbs 26 and 27. And it says, okay, I'm gonna start at verse 25, okay, because there's a lot of good stuff here. It says, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, For there are 7 abominations in his heart. Damn. Okay? So when these devils come across you, right? These evil ass devils, and they start talking to you, don't believe them. There's 7 abominations in their heart. And this is how you got to look at them. They always are trying to get something out of you, and they're lying to you, you know. I'm telling you those smooth things. All right. His words were softer than a butter, smoother than oil, but there was war in his heart. You know, never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. It just never goes away. You may be able to clean it off, you may be able to scrub it off, but eventually the fucking rust is gonna come back, man, because it's genetically disposed to be that way. He's genetically disposed to be that way. It says, whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be sold before the whole congregation. Now, of course, you know, this is when it says the congregation, is speaking about the saints. When it says the whole congregation, is speaking about the Israelites, the saints. Okay, but that's exactly what's happening. You know, Esau is being revealed in front of the saints and in front of the world. Okay, and it says, who diggeth the ditch, whoso diggeth a pit, falleth therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. A lying tongue hateth those that are affected by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. You see that? So when he tells, and this is a very profound statement, okay? It says, a lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it. A lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it. Think about it. He's lying to every goddamn body. He lies to all of the Americans. He lies to the world. He lies to the Israelites. He lies to every damn body. So this dude hates creation. He hates everything. Okay? And flattering mouth worketh ruin. A gift destroyeth the heart. Those that say, oh man, you sow this, you sow that, you sow this, you sow that. All right, puffs you up, takes you off guard, and eventually brings you down to your ruin. Because, you know, hey, what did it say? Pride puffeth up. So somebody coming at you with this, and that, flattering you and all that shit, they're going to fill you full of pride. And eventually, you know, you're going to fall to your ruin. And that's a tactic of Esau Edom. Okay? Let me grab one more. All right, this is going to be Isaiah, the book of Isaiah 25 and 7, and it reads, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Okay, so there was a veil that was cast over all the people and all the nations, and Yahweh Shem Yahushai has removed that veil and has removed that covering cast over all people. And this is why you're seeing so many. Okay, and I got another video, and I was gonna do a lesson about this. I'm gonna just play a little bit of it just to prove my point. So many nations are coming out and speaking against this devil all across the world. You got Ham speaking out now.
He also insulted all Africans.
I think they forgot to say thank you to us. It's not a big deal. It will come with time.
There is a part that caught my attention where he talked about ingratitude.
Gratitude, I am well aware, is a non-transmissible disease to humans.
He is human. Our ingratitude is not transmissible to him. This is how this gentleman sees Africa, sees Africans. We are not human. In his eyes, I think that if he is not an atheist and he prays, every morning when he wakes up and prays, he should also pray to the Africans. Because it is thanks to our ancestors that there is a France today. He should pray to.
All right, so you hear the pride. Okay, as a matter of fact, that's a good one to end it off of. The pride of thine heart. So we can go to the book of Obadiah. Three, and it says 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord. So the Lord is actively bringing this devil down, and this is why you're seeing everything being revealed and everybody turning against him. He ain't got much time left. All right. So with that, I'm going to end it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakadosh. Double honors to the elders and the apostle, great millstone. Until next time, I say shalom.